What's going on, guys? How you doing? I don't know why, but sometimes I think about The Cure and I think, I don't really know their music. I've never owned one of their albums. I've played a bunch of their songs. Just Like Heaven, okay, Friday I'm in Love, Love Song, okay. Do I know others? I know the one that was on The Crow soundtrack, but I never had any of their albums. I don't know, like, probably the majority of these songs. So I figured I'd check one out. One right now for this one video. And that one is going to be, I'm going to do a forest. I don't know why, I'm just randomly picking it, but I think that's what I'm going to do right now. Let's check it out. The Cure, A Forest. Bam. Some kind of like pre-delay on the snare. Was this like early 80s, mid 80s? Kind of liking the long intro. That's Robert Smith. Wow, this is like early, huh? Sounds like him. Dig it. It's a vibe. I dig it. It's interesting. I was playing with his thumb. I mean, the bass player, he's not like usually you anchor with your thumb on your right hand. He's not anchoring anything. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. All right. I thought it was cool. I mean, it's definitely a vibe. It's definitely a vibe. Okay, so what album is this off of? 17 Seconds. Their second album, 1980. Wow. Yeah, I was like either like early or mid 80s, but I was thinking early because it's just so sounds it. It sounds like, and it does, it kind of sounds like it's a first or second record because it's not like the quality is not incredible, but it's a vibe. Okay. Second album, Cure. First time frontman Robert Smith co-produced with Mike Hedges. After the departure of original bassist Mike Dempsey, Simon Gallup became an official member keyboardist. A Forest was the first entry in the top 40 UK singles charts. Susie and the Banshees spoke less and less with bassist Mike Dempsey. Final straw, when I played Michael the demos for our next album, he hated them. He wanted us to be XTC Part 2, and if anything, I wanted us to be the Banshees Part 2, so he left. I don't know either of those bands that much, frankly. I don't know Susie and the Banshees. That's how you say it, right? Susie? I don't know Susie and the Banshees, I think, at all. This is like a kind of rock realm that I didn't dive into. What I got was, and I remember getting this in grade school and loving the shit out of this record, but Pretty Hate Machine. That's what I got. I got Pretty Hate Machine, and I love that record. I played the shit out of it. And then I remember getting Antichrist Superstar, right? Manson. And I remember bringing that to school with me in 7th or 8th grade, and it got taken away from me because I went to Catholic school. Yeah, so I didn't hear any of this stuff. And also like Deftones, right? I love Deftones. Chino, I'm pretty sure The Cure has influenced Chino. Okay. Playing guitar with Banshees for 2 months and learning their songs opened up another horizon as Smith. It allowed me to think beyond what we were doing. I wanted to have a band that does what Steven Severin and Budgie do, where they just get a bass line and drum part and Susie wails. The records to which Smith was frequently listening during the composition of the album were Five Leaves by Nick Drake. Okay, Nick Drake. I haven't listened to Nick Drake in forever. Isle of Wight, Jimi Hendrix, Astral Weeks by Van Morrison, and Low by David Bowie. Low is a great album. Low's a great album. Smith wrote the lyrics and music for most of the record at his parents' home, Hammond, Oregon, built-in tape recorder, interviewed in 2004. Mike Hedges did not recall any demo tracks, with the band generally playing the track in the studio before laying down a backing track to which overdubs were added. 2 members of the magazine Spies were added to the band's lineup. Gallup replaced. Okay, money was short, so the album was recorded and mixed in 7 days on a budget between 2,000 and 3,000 pounds, which resulted in the band working 16 or 17-hour days. Yeah, I mean, it sounds low budget. It does. It sounds really low budget. But, you know, I mean, it's got a vibe, and it's still cool. I dig it still. Stated that as a result, the track The Final Sound, which was planned to be much longer, was cut down to 53 seconds because the tape ran out while recording and the band could not record it again. Album mostly a collection of downbeat tracks, features ambient echoing vocals with the sonic direction driven by its drum sound. Yeah, that makes sense because that's like the first thing that kind of sets up the vibe, really. 17 Seconds was considered an early example of gothic rock. Its gloomscapes are considered to be a sonic touchstone for the forthcoming movement. Track The Final Sound is so positively gothic you could almost be fooled into believing that it was lifted from the soundtrack of some Hammer horror gore fest. I'm not familiar with any of this stuff. Has also been described as new wave and post-punk. Yeah, I was going to say new wave. I don't know that I have a full grasp of what new wave really is, but I was going to throw that on there. Let's see what these guys say new wave really is. Pop-oriented styles from the 70s through the 80s consider a lighter and more melodic broadening of punk culture. Originally used as catch-all for the various styles of music that emerged after punk rock. Okay. Common characteristics of new wave music include a humorous or quirky pop approach, angular guitar riffs, jerky rhythms, the use of electronics, and a distinctive visual style and fashion. In the early 80s, virtually every new pop and rock act, and particularly those that employed synthesizers, were tagged as new wave. Okay. Although new wave shares punk's do-it-yourself philosophy, the musicians were more influenced by the styles of the 50s, along with the lighter strains of 60s pop, and were opposed to the generally abrasive political bents of punk rock. Okay. Talking Heads, Devo, Elvis Costello, Blondie, Roxy Music, Velvet Underground, My Sharona, New Romantics, Breakfast Club, 16 Can. I've seen Breakfast Club. I have not seen these other two. All right. So that's cool. I dig it. I dig the sound. I like it. I mean, it's definitely low budget, you know, kind of rough or whatever. Not rough. It just sounds low budget. And I think it's fine. I don't have a problem with that at all. It does. It gives it a vibe. You know, when you have limitations, that makes you have to be creative. You know, I just think that limitations are good. I think that they're good. You have to do that because it kind of forces you to think different ways and push in different ways, where if you just had it all, or you could do whatever, I don't know, maybe you wouldn't come out with something as special or whatever. It also forces you to make decisions because they're on a time limit, because they have a budget limit. So that means they have to make decisions. Things can't necessarily be perfect, which in music a lot of times creates the cool stuff, like makes the stuff that turns out to be magic. If you could just go in there and edit everything and make everything perfect and glossy and shiny, maybe that works for certain styles and specific sounds and all that kind of thing. But for other things, and I think for rock music, anything with like guitars like this, I feel like maybe it's not a good thing, because this is like band music. This isn't like polished pop music where it's an artist and there's a production underneath, like that kind of production. You know what I'm saying? So I think it sounds cool. I dig it. I definitely dig it. I don't know why, you know, I've been thinking about The Cure lately, but again, they're a band that I'm like, they're a huge band. I don't know their music. I don't really know their music. I should check them out. So there it is. All right, cool. Thank you guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Later.